The summary.
Summary. You got it.
Ah,
Let's see, it's 7:29. I'll wait till my phone says 7:30 and then we'll call it to order.
we have a quorum?
Well, we got me, we got you, we got Mel, we got Bruce. That's 4.
And George?
And George.
George is here.
George is 5. So,
And me, Renee's here.
Renee is
Oh,
Renee is here.
oh,
Good.
okay, we got 3 regular members. So who was first? Because I came in a little late. Who was here? Alan and Mel?
No,
or
I think
George?
Mel was here before me.
Mel?
I was.
Was George before
You
you?
having a problem?
Oh, I don't know. Alice,
Okay.
do you know whether it
Hold
was George before Mel, or what was the order?
George was there first.
Okay.
Ah,
All right. So I'm the tail end Charlie, and I still got here 10 minutes early. You guys are really eager. Oh, man.
Jean, I just made you a co-host so you can
Okay, thank
record
you.
as well.
all right. My iPhone says it's 7:30, so it must be time to start.
Yeah.
You ready to record, Alice? And all
Oh,
that?
it's all going. Yep.
All going? All right. This is the June 4th meeting of the Planning Commission. In attendance right now is myself, the chairman, John Mann Heiss. We got Alan, we got Alice, we got our secretary, Jean. Rennie, you're there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. You got Mel,
She's being antisocial, not turning on her camera.
and got Bruce.
No. Oh, trying to help Linda.
We got Bruce, and we also had George.
Yeah, I lost the connection. I'm back though.
Okay.
There I am.
Oh, I understand. Right now, as we only have 3 regular members, I can appoint 2 alternates. And I understand that George and Mel were here before Alan. So that will be the 2 voting members unless somebody decides to disappear or something, whatever.
Well, excuse me, Linda's having a little problem. She just called me. So
Well,
she'll probably come
So
in.
she comes in.
I'm out.
Yeah, you got it. You got it, Mel.
Yeah, not for lack of trying, Mel.
We still love you, Mel.
All right, first item on the agenda is the minutes of May 21st meeting. Minutes of the Planning Commission, that is. I saw nothing to jump up
Looked good.
about. Didn't even see any spelling errors, so.
Nope. Motion to accept the minutes of the May 21st Planning Commission meeting as entered.
I second.
Is there a second on that?
I second.
We got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think I have to abstain. I don't think I was on that meeting, so
Okay,
Aye,
abstain.
you
one
missed,
abstention.
you missed the excitement.
Oh, these Zoom meetings are so exciting. Old business, we have none to discuss right now. We're going to go into new business. And we have a guest here. We have a letter from the first selectman asking us to consider a 8-24 referral on the Lower Federal Road project by DOT, which involves putting in a turnoff behind the ramen house or whatever they call that restaurant up there. Used to be Lavelle's when I first came to town. Oh, I'm losing everybody here.
You see the
Okay,
letter?
there we go. Yeah, we got a letter from Steve asking us to consider this, and Greg is going to talk to it, right, Greg?
Yes, I am, when you're ready.
We're ready.
Okay, good evening to the Planning Commission. Let me start by giving you a little feedback from the DOT. I spoke to them regarding this project this morning, and they were very complimentary of the town of Brookfield. They've been participating at ZBA meetings for the past couple of months on and off about the acquisitions that are taking place regarding this Lower Federal Road project that I'm going to talk about. And they were very complimentary for the town of Brookfield, who apparently have really jumped on the bandwagon to allow video teleconferencing to happen across all of its boards and commissions apparently much more quickly and smoothly than other towns. So they sent a very nice email this morning complimenting the town of Brookfield for the ability to do these video conferencing in this coronavirus time. So I just want to pass that on to you, John.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank the commission. They're all participating.
So I'm here tonight to talk about the quote unquote lower federal road project. And I'm not going to get into all the detail in the history other than to say for at least the past 15 years, this project has been in the planning stages. And there were even, as you can see from some of the attachments in your documents, joint meetings with zoning and planning many, many years ago. This project is being funded by the DOT, and the primary reason for the project is to reduce accidents. And this project initially was going to be in 3 different phases. It was going to be at the phase 1 was going to be at Chick-fil-A. Phase 2 was going to be around Costco, and phase 3 was going to be at this intersection at Old New Milford Road. About 5 or 6 years ago, the state said, let's make it one big project. And that's what they've done. And the design is now final. They've been working tremendously regarding the relocation of utility poles. The WPCA has been to the DOT twice to make sure all of the sewer connections are going to be appropriately managed. And the design is now final, and they need from the town an 824 referral for the rerouting of Old New Milford Road and the creation of a new road in town. So we have a conference call with them on Monday at 10 a.m., Ralph Tedesco and I. And what they would like to know is the town, what does the town have to do to accept a new roadway and create a new road? And I made this presentation to the Board of Selectmen this past Monday, and they said it's probably appropriate and you ought to have in hand an 824 referral. So that's why I'm here tonight.
Okay.
So Alice has 2 slides. So the project is going to be about $8 or $9 million. I'll make a couple more opening comments before we get to the two plan sheets. The project is somewhere around $8 or $9 million. The only cost to the town is my time. Everything else is paid for on a DOT project. This project actually includes 7 bus shelters. And those bus shelters are going to be the identical design we've put in with Streetscape Phase 2. So all along Federal Road, all of our bus shelters are going to look the same, which I think is very nice. And we've worked hard to have that be included in this project. So just in summary, very quickly, this project is going to be upgrading 3 major intersections. The first is at Chick-fil-A. The second is at Beverly Drive, where McDonald's is. And the third is at this intersection that Alice here just pulled up on this sheet. Now, don't get caught in the detail, but this is the second sheet will make it more clear. But this sheet is showing the existing Old New Milford Road as it comes in behind the Ramen Noodle House at that crazy angle into Federal Road. So what's going to be happening is that road, Old New Milford Road, is now going to come in and make a turn right into the White House, which is the Lavelle House. And there's going to be an intersection with a light across the street from which is the wood bin, or not the wood bin, but the
Isn't the veterinarian?
The bar.
The bar. Yeah, that's the only place I know there is the bar.
McNally.
Creative bath. Creative bath.
Well, the shopping center.
Need plumbing supplies.
So tonight is really focused on just this intersection, because what's happening here is the state is going to be buying and relocating 2 properties. The White House, which is the Lavelle House, and the Ramen Noodle House. So Alice is kind of circling the Ramen Noodle House.
Yep.
That negotiation is almost complete. The state doesn't own that yet. It's going to be eminent domain, but they're close to finalizing that negotiation. The White House just to north of that, the state right there, the state already owns. So that acquisition has taken place, and the state now owns that piece of property. So what they would like from Brookfield, their first question a couple of weeks ago is, before we finalize these plans, we need to know the minimum right-of-way width that this road has to be. So I talked to Ralph Tedesco, and I think Ralph's on this call, by the way. Maybe he's on mute, and that's fine. And Ralph conveyed to me that it's a 50-foot right-of-way width for this 2-lane road. We conveyed that back to the state a couple days ago. They agreed that what they're giving us here is at least the 50-foot right-of-way, which includes the road and the shoulder. And so that's the one thing they want approval for. The second thing is we need to rename that extension because that old New Milford Road is now going to dead end. It's not going to run into Federal Road there. And that's going to, we need to rename that road. It's a very short road. And the purpose for that road is for the business behind there to get access to a town road.
The brown business offices.
Yes.
The landmark, right? Isn't it the landmark?
Is that the name of that building?
It's the one next to it.
Oh, yeah. There's a
Oh, the
big,
white building, okay.
yeah.
No, it's not the white building. It's the
Brown one.
brown shingled building. Not-
Yeah.
Okay,
Landmark is stucco, but yeah.
okay.
John, I propose Allen Avenue.
There you go. In your honor.
So I'm going to get to a couple of proposed names in a second, but the reason why it's important is this is going to be a new town road, and all of the tenants in that building are going to have a new property address. So sometime over the next several months, this all has to be finalized before construction starts, which is going to be in the spring of 2021.
Okay.
So I'll talk about the naming of the road in a second. But I want to talk about the third thing that's changing with this intersection. I talked about the new road plan. I talked about the new road. The third thing is the town is now going to have some new property. The green area, which was the Ramen Noodle House. There you go, Alice. There you go.
Yeah,
This is a cleaner view of what I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
What used to be the ramen noodle house.
What used to be the Ramen Noodle House. So that is now going to be town property, which we're going to have to maintain. And the state is asking questions like, how do you want it landscaped? Do you want to do anything special there? There is going to be, one of the 7 bus shelters is going to be located there. I will tell you on bus shelters, we've had many meetings with Hart. And you may or may not know it, but there's 2 Hart bus routes that go up and down Federal Road. One's an express route that just goes through that road to get to New Milford. And the other is a route that stops at many places like ShopRite and the YMCA and drops off and picks up passengers. So the location of these 7 bus shelters are placed very specifically to these 2 routes that serve different clients. So when you see them come about in over a year, don't think they were randomly placed. It took a lot of thought to decide how and where those should be placed. But back to this layout, the green area is now going to be new town property that we're going to have to cut and maintain. And how we landscape that and which shrubs and trees do we put in are going to be part of our conference call on Monday with the DOT. So for tonight, what I need from the Planning Commission is an 824 referral for this revision. Now let me briefly talk about the name of this new road. It was suggested by the DOT that road be called Old New Milford Road Extension. Well, that sounds kind of boring and not a lot of fun. When that was talked about,
And confusing.
and confusing maybe.
Fusion.
Chief Purcell came up with a different idea. one that might give some historic significance or a little history to the naming of that road. He suggested Wagon Wheel Way.
Yeah.
So for those of you that know, that used to be the Wagon Wheel Restaurant.
Yeah.
Was
And-
Lavelle's too?
And
know it well.
Lavelle's and a lot of things over the years.
Hmm.
So we don't need a decision tonight. And I don't know who makes the final decision, but we need to name that road because those addresses, those property addresses the mailing addresses are going to change for that business behind there.
Well, we can make a suggestion to the Board of Selectmen and they could be the final arbiter.
Yeah. So something like that I think should happen, John, because again, the DOT is looking for a final decision so they can get on with the project.
Mhm.
So for tonight, it's really an 824 referral for the road revision, the new road, and a discussion about the naming of that very short road.
What about the green area? Do you want, is anybody talk to Parks and Rec about making that like a little pocket park or something?
Yes, we've talked to Parks and Rec and we talked to DOT. And Ralph makes a very good point. We have to be careful about sight line. So setting shrubs and trees back. And do we put benches there or do we just put the bus shelter there? Those details have not been worked out.
Okay.
And we have time on that. But the real important thing tonight is the road layout and the road extension name and just getting this commission's approval so this project can move forward.
All right. This, by the way, this project was basically put in our plan to development 5 years ago. Linda will probably remember that when we worked on it. We had joint meetings with zoning, with Westcog, and a lot of the other agencies in the state so that this could go forward. So 5 years ago, we basically approved this concept. So this is basically making it more formal so that the town and the state can move forward. So unless somebody's got an objection to this project, I would entertain a motion to try to get Greg what he needs.
Motion to recommend an 824 referral regarding the rerouting of Old New Milford Road and the creation of a town
Creation of what?
park type area with the remaining real estate.
And a creation of a new road called Wagon Way.
And the creation of a new road to be named Wagon Way.
Wagon
Wagon wheel.
Wagon Wheel Way.
Wagon Wheel Way.
Yeah.
Wagon Wheel Way.
I think we ought to just perhaps talk about the name a bit. I mean, I have no historical connection with the Wagon Wheel restaurant, never having been there, even though I've been here 10 years. But I would suggest as an idea, perhaps, isn't this something that we could just go ahead and throw, have the selectmen just go ahead and throw it open to the town and say, what about some suggestions, and then have people able to, select the name.
Like a naming contest?
Yeah, a naming contest. I mean, that's so easy in nowadays.
And democratic.
And democratic, absolutely. Yep.
All right. I was going to call it the George Bush Memorial Highway, but
I think we already have one of those in this country.
And John, for a Texan, I think that would be a very, very small road.
you
Right.
got it. Well, he was
Would want
sworn
something-
catcher anyhow.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go ahead. Repeat your motion, Bruce, and we'll look for a second on that.
Motion to recommend an 824 referral regarding the rerouting of Old New Milford Road and the potential renaming of the road to Wagon Wheel Road. The new road, potentially naming the new road to be Wagon Wheel Road, subject to approval by the powers that be.
Is there a second to that?
Sure, I'll second it.
Okay, George, no, yeah, you're all right. Mel.
Yeah, I'm out.
Because Linda's in, I'm sorry.
Yeah, is there no
And
way
I
that
helped her.
that
And I helped to get in.
Yeah, is there any way that we can give something to the selectmen that says perhaps we should think about the renaming in terms of opening it up to the town?
I think we
Yeah.
want to leave it up to the Board of Selectmen, myself.
Yeah, can we put something in the minutes or send them a memo or
We
something?
could do it. We could put that in the minutes.
Is
We
it
already have
Wagon Wheel Road or Wagon Wheel Way? I thought Alice said it was Wagon Wheel Way.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
Greg said.
Okay, I think Bruce said Wagon Wheel Road.
I did.
Okay,
I have it in the minutes as way.
okay.
Okay. Did I get a second on Bruce's?
Yes, George.
George, that's
George
right.
seconded
Yeah,
it.
George jumped right in.
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None?
I'm opposed.
Abstain? Okay. With that,
You're opposed, Linda?
Yeah. I don't like the name. I don't think that should be in there.
I agree with you.
you're not voting.
No.
Yeah, but unless you mute me.
Okay, motion carries.
All right, we'll send a note saying Wagon Wheel Way is one name that has been suggested. We'll leave it to the Board of Selectmen to choose the final name,
To lead the way.
because they may feel that they, I mean, we could honor somebody in town.
Yeah.
Things of that sort.
Or want something more, or may want something more neutral.
Right.
I will tell you, when we met with the condo owners for that property on that road, they wanted it named after the name of their condominium. And Steve Dunn said, no, thank you. We should not be naming a town road after a particular development or property owner. It should be something more generic and of more importance to the town. So the owner of that building is Craig Froelich. At least he was the major developer
Yep.
that made all of that happen. And I'll tell you, he's just so you know, he's opposed to that name, but he wanted it named after his building. And I don't know that makes the most sense for a public town road either. So
No, I don't think so.
I just passed that on to you.
Yeah.
Is he going to accept responsibility for all the repaving when it needs to be
Yeah.
worked on?
Maintenance.
It's a town road. The town's going to have to repave it.
I know, it was a facetious comment. He wants
Yes.
the glory and the
None of the
He doesn't
responsibility.
want the responsibility for the payment.
Exactly. Gee, that's a
That
short,
sounds familiar.
that's a short list.
See, I could think of a former first selectman like Wes Kennan, who was first selectman for years in this town, and named that little road after Wes Kennan. You could also take people who had some influence on town.
I agree with you. What about, well, who was the police chief before this one?
Montgomery.
Robin Montgomery.
No, you don't want Robin Montgomery. No, he was.
I think
There was actually
is there a
another
history I'm not familiar
There was
with?
another chief before him.
Yeah.
He had a little problem, but we won't go into that. We'll leave it up to the Board of Selectmen to decide on the name.
Right.
I just want to have that note to go along with it. Greg, have you got what you need?
I do. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Craig.
Thank you, Greg.
That's right.
Thank
Yep.
you, Greg.
Good idea.
All right. I think we're ready to move on to, let's see, the next thing on the agenda, correspondence. We don't have much in the way of correspondence. We have the Inland Wetlands meeting of May 26th. They discussed in their new business the property that's across from where the cornfield used to be. We're talking about modification of the existing permit. Looks like the Steiners would like to change some of the planning and maybe even allow hay, I guess, for a farmer. So that's under discussion. And also under discussion was the approval that we did. Remember, we split off a free cut last week, 204A Wiskiner Road. They were discussing the driveway for that property. So those are the things I noticed of that were highlights of the Wetlands Commission meeting of the 26th. Is anybody comments on those minutes?
John, just to clarify, they also discussed, they just started the discussion of the new school project, and the public
Sure.
hearing will be June 22nd.
Okay, public hearing on that, and yeah. Yeah, they're gonna have a decision date by the end of the month, the 29th. Folks, any other discussion on inland wetlands? If not, we're at informal discussion. Any items for informal discussion? Other than naming roads? I was thinking Alice Dew's Highway would have been great too, but you know.
Oh, yeah. Great. No, thanks.
Guys, we're talking about a road that's 200 feet long that dead ends.
Thank you, Greg. I was thinking the same thing. It's almost a driveway. It's really all it is.
It's not a prestigious roadway.
No, not by any stretch.
That's why a name like Wagon Wheel Way is probably very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, if not, we have nothing to report on the plan of conservation and development this week. And we're at item number 8, Linda.
Favorite.
What it is?
Item number 8. You know what item number 8 is?
Yeah, I just said it, right?
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, I hear it. I didn't hear it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Stay
Thank
safe.
Thank you.
Stay
Bye.
safe, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a great night, everybody.